Hey everyone, what's going on? If you're new to this channel, what I talk about a whole lot is the synchronicity that goes on in my life and how it syncs up to the mainstream media and our sports leagues and our told history. And if you don't know what synchronicity is, an example is like tonight at work, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he brought up a certain kid, and he's talking about how at school this kid was making a joke about 9/11, and literally the next customer that came in the store was this kid that we were just talking about. Or another example is like recently I've been documenting about this cat theme that I've been noticing in my life. And every time I randomly look at the TV just for even a split second, I'll be writing up a blog post about a cat theme, and I'll look up at the TV 10 minutes later, and the first thing I see will be a cat on the TV. That is what synchronicity is. And it's actually a term that is coined by this guy, Carl Gustav Jung, I think is how you pronounce his name. And this guy, he died by the numbers. And if you understand synchronicity and you learn this practice of coding letters into numbers, which is called gematria, that stems back to ancient knowledge such as Jewish mysticism, which is called Kabbalah, and it has a belief that God created the world by merging the letter with the number. If you understand this easy system of coding letters into numbers, and you have these synchronicity things, it makes a lot more sense. And this guy supposedly coined the term synchronicity, and if you notice in Gematria, he died 50 days before his birthday, and his name, Carl Gustav Jung, just so happens to equal 50. And he also died at the age of 85, and his name in reverse equals 85, right? And he was also a prodigy of Sigmund Freud, right? Pretty sure. Yeah, he was a prodigy of Sigmund Freud. And what's interesting about Sigmund Freud is he died 141 days after his birthday, and his name's Sigmund Freud equals 141. What are the odds of that, When you code these letters into numbers, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. You add all these letters up, so S is 19, I 9, G 7, 141. And he died 141 days after his birthday. The guy who coined synchronicity, his name equals 50. He dies 50 days before his birthday at the age of 85, and his name also equals 85. So, moral of the story, last night I documented about this fake story that we're getting in the mainstream media about this Chinese warships almost colliding with the U.S. destroyer. Look at this picture. I mean, you have to be retarded to believe that this is a real story. This picture looks like it came from like the 1930s, and they're saying that this happened in 2018. And the media does this all the time. Go back and look at the Nice, France attacker, whatever. There was an attack a couple years back. The guy's passport looked like it came from like 1920, or sorry, I have no clue what happened. Something happened to my microphone. Now my picture's not even on here. I'm lost as to what's going on here, but some weird stuff's going on. My computer just all of a sudden froze up and my microphone quit working. But I'll figure it out later. I want to finish this video here, but I think what I was getting at was, you had the Nice, France guy. His passport looked super old, and you know, even stuff like, yeah, like Dylan Stormroof, right? The guy from the Charleston church shooting, Dylan Stormroof. What a name for one. And then the guy had a bowl cut in like 2015 or whatever it was. And the picture just looked old and general. And people just eat it up and believe it, you know? I mean, there's just no way that's a real... That picture is from something else. It's not from some real guy who shot up a church, you know? It's so ridiculous that people fall for that type of stuff. But that was the whole point of this whole deal. I'm looking at this picture and I'm just laughing like crazy at how old this picture is. And they're trying to tell us these Chinese ships almost ran into a U.S. destroyer. And what I wrote on my blog was, you know, it looks like these ships might have been responsible for Amelia Earhart going missing, or possibly she took the picture from her airplane, you know, because it's so old. And I documented these 169s, right? And it was stuff that I had talked about a while back, because this was a U.S. destroyer. And in 2017, I documented about this father symbolism and how it synced up to a bunch of stuff. And I talked about the priest who might have molested me when I was a kid, and his name was Father Fitzgerald. And then like a week later, we got a story about the USS Fitzgerald, and there was 7 missing and a bunch of other stuff. And I documented how U.S. destroyer equals 169, 7 missing equals 169, and I was following this father pattern. And Father's Day that year just so happened to be the 169th day of the year. And this year, I have been documenting a whole lot about the Cleveland Indians and the curse of Rocky Colavito. And Rocky Colavito equals 169 in Gematria. And Rocky Colavito got traded to the Detroit Tigers, and that's why it was important to what I've been talking about. And Detroit Tigers equal 169 in Gematria. And something I just discovered was all of these synchronicity things happening to me. Synchronicity just so happens to equal 169 in Gematria. And the reason that's so interesting is because I documented about this last night, about this Chinese warship, and I brought up Amelia Earhart. For whatever reason, I don't know. I just brought up her because she's old. It's over the ocean, whatever, you know. And tonight I got home and I was looking at an article. The first one that popped up on my Yahoo when I went to Yahoo was about the real-life Peggy Sue, who was the inspiration for Buddy Holly's song, died at the age of 78. And I remembered that just a couple weeks ago, somebody had commented on one of my videos about Buddy Holly. I made this video about Buddy Holly. I'll just pull it up for you too. I made this video on my YouTube channel about Buddy Holly and his death being foreshadowed by the song That'll Be the Day That I Die, right? And look at the first thing that comes up on this video. I mean, the first thing that I mention in this video is Amelia Earhart. Now, what are the odds of that, you know? That is what synchronicity is. And look at her full name is Amelia Mary Earhart. Look what her name equals in Gematria. Amelia Mary Earhart, 169. So I just make this post talking about the number 169 with Amelia Earhart, and then her name, her full name even equals 169 in Gematria. And once again, it's a synchronicity thing that I am talking about. And synchronicity equals 169 in Gematria. So let's go back and look. I want to show you, just prove to you that somebody, I thought it was strange that someone just commented on this video that I've had out since December 26th of 2014. you know, and I'm not saying this is a bad person, but I have my doubts from doing this over the years. I've had a lot of people who do this, and then they say that there's not, that they're, you know, they're good people. But there was one guy a while back who had 19,000 subscribers, and then all of a sudden, I called him out on something that he did, and then he said that he wasn't part of it, blah, blah, blah. Now his channel's completely different. His name was Yes Ethan. Now he has no subscribers, so he lost 19,000 subscribers, and his name is Solarius. His picture is of a cat, something I've been documenting lately, and he doesn't even have a channel anymore. Like, I don't get it, you know? So, I don't know. I'm not saying this person's a bad person, but I have my doubts, and I don't trust very many people because of this, you know? But anyway, it was 2 weeks ago, and I just thought it was so weird. I get a comment on this old video. It's the only comments that are on this video, and then it opens up with an Amelia Earhart thing, you know? So, all of that being said, let's just look at this story, and I'll show some other things. But there's something I'm supposed to see with this, and this is what I'm talking about on this channel. How if you understand these synchronicity things, you can get a better understanding of other things that are going on in your life, and you can figure out these signs and symbolism and patterns just by understanding a simple thing of coding letters into numbers and how it applies to the mainstream media and how it applies to your own life and the sports leagues and everything in this world being truly interrelated. So we get this real-life Peggy Sue dying at the age of 78. They even give us her birthday on there, which is interesting. They don't seemingly do that very often with people who aren't celebrities, so, you know, it's easy to look up, but she died on her birthday was 6/15, and she died on 10/1. She died 4 months and 2 days before the anniversary of Buddy Holly dying, the day the music died with, you know, the Big Bopper and Richie Valens. She died 4 months and 2 days before that, and Peggy Sue of Gematria just so happens to equal 42 of Gematria. She also dies 3 months and 16 days after her own birthday, and Buddy Holly's real name is Charles Hardin Holly. That equals 316. So she died in connection to Buddy Holly, the day that he died, and also, you know, his name syncs up to how many days away she died from her birthday. The song was actually written because she was dating the drummer of Buddy Holly's band named Jerry Allison, and then he ended up marrying Peggy Sue. And what's interesting about him is Jerry Ivan Allison at Gematria equals 78, and now his wife dies at the age of 78. And if you notice, their birthdays 78 days apart. What are the odds, you know? She dies age 78, 78 days apart. Her birthday is 78 days apart from her husband's, and her husband's name equals 78, and they wrote a song about her in his band with Buddy Holly. His name, just Jerry Allison, also equals 166, and she was born on the 166th day of the year. Also, a while back, I don't know where it is, I know I have it on the video at some point, I believe, or somewhere in my notes. I have Buddy Holly dying, and Buddy Holly's birthday was September 7th, which was 117 days after Richie Valens' birthday, the La Bamba guy that he died with. And Buddy Holly's birthday was also 1 month and 17 days before the Big Bopper's birthday, who also died with him. So Ritchie Valens' birthday 117 days before, and the Big Bopper's birthday 1 month and 17 days later. And they all died when they were on the Winter Dance Party tour that in Gematria equals 117. Also, the Big Bopper died 3 months and 10 days after his own birthday. And it was also 102 days. And his real name, Giles Richardson Jr., equals 102. So he dies 102 days after his birthday. His name equals 102. Ritchie Valens, he dies 99 days after his birthday, and his real name, Richard Valenzuela, equals 99. But he also died 3 months and 10 days before his birthday. So the Big Bopper dies 3 months, 10 days after his birthday. Ritchie Valens dies 3 months, 10 days before his birthday. And then they both die in connection with Buddy Holly's birthday by the same number as well. And they were on the tour that equals that same number. What are the odds of that, you know? What I pointed out in the old video was that the song That'll Be the Day That I Die that Buddy Holly has, it's 2 minutes and 30 in length. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, a lot like 23. And then he ends up dying on 2/3. And he dies on the tour that began on the 23rd day of the year of 1959. And the reason that's so interesting is this person who commented, their name is Den, and that in Gematria equals 23. And they commented 2 weeks and 3 days before Peggy Sue dies. So a 23 yet again. They also commented on this video on the anniversary of the Battle of Baltimore, the day that Francis Scott Key wrote the national anthem. And Amelia Earhart equals 239, that big number that is connected to the flag symbolism and the standing during the national anthem. That's, you know, and that's why the beginning of this season we got the first game was a score of 18-12, because the national anthem was written during the Battle of Baltimore in the War of 1812 on this date right here. And, you know, it was the Falcons versus the Eagles even. Both teams that have been synced up and been in the Super Bowl since Colin Kaepernick knelt on the 239th day of the year, and the flag was sewn at 239 Arch Street in Philadelphia, and Atlanta Falcons and Gematria equal 239. That's why the media told us the story of Donald Trump weighing 239 pounds just before the Super Bowl began last year. The Super Bowl 52, the 52nd prime number, is 239. And Donald Trump called out the NFL for kneeling on the date of 23/9. And would you believe when I looked up this person, they had 239 subscribers? What are the odds? You know, Amelia Earhart, 239. This person has 239 subscribers. They comment on a day that's synced up to the 239. What are the odds? So, just wanted to make a quick video because it's like 6 in the morning and I gotta work, and really, I gotta work in like 2.5 hours. I gotta get up, but I was trying to make this video, then my microphone, I don't know what happened to it. And maybe my camera's still working and I can't see it. I don't know, but we'll leave the video there. Just wanted to show what synchronicity is. Thought it was interesting that I never realized synchronicity equals 169. And lately I've been having lots and lots of synchronicity with Rocky Colavito, who equals 169. And then now I'm having synchronicity with Amelia Earhart, whose real name equals 169. Craziness. Crazy that synchronicity equals that. Crazy that's what I keep calling it over and over. And what are the odds that the guy who invented synchronicity, coined the term synchronicity, died by the numbers? So, have a good one. Peace. Probably not going to make any more videos tonight, but maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Hopefully I get the time. Have a good one.